Good morning. My name is Krishna Vavilala. I am the chairman of the Foundation for India Studies in Houston. And today is October 5th, and we are interviewing Mr. Ram Gupta, a highly distinguished, accomplished engineer who is a long-term Houstonian, and he is being interviewed for the Oral History project. Mr. Gupta, welcome to the project.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vavilala. It's a great attempt. I am very highly honored to be interviewed for this project, and I also thank you very much to do that, and thank you for all our friends to help me communicate properly to all of you.
Thank you for being here. And this interview will be archived in the Houston Public Library and Houston Metropolitan Research Center in Houston. And this also will have a link on the South Asian Digital Archives from Pennsylvania. And this interview is meant basically for posterity, for anyone who wants to research about the Indian immigrants who came into Houston and settled in Houston, Harris County. They will be able to go to the library archives and search for anyone who has participated in this program. And Gupta ji, welcome again. And we are very much honored to have you here, and we will begin the interview right now. Please.
Thank you, sir. First of all, I am also very much honored to participate in this project. But before that, I will give the biggest honors to you, yourself, who has thought about this particular project and to make Indians much more come in the limelight than ever before. Each thing helps us to come and accomplish our job all around, all the ways, all the spheres, all the things.
Thank you very much. And this interview is mostly about you, your personal story. And every immigrant into America has a personal story to tell. And let us begin with where you were born. And I know you are from India. Let us know where you were born and when you were born.
I have a great honor for this question, because it would express to all of you that how I was born, where I was born, and what status I have achieved today with the cooperation of America. America is one of the greatest countries in the world, and I admire it because I became from zero to hero. Basically, that is what I will call myself, and I hope you, all of you, agree. If not, well, that's what I express myself. I was born in the state of Rampur in United Provinces of India, and the state of Rampur is about 120 miles from New Delhi, and it used to be a Muslim state. And it is also, that area is also mostly Muslim populated. So I had a good life over there, and I started my primary education in Rampur, and that is under a sort of a one-room or two-room areas. And I did continue my education over there up to the 5th standard. And from 5th standard, I went to a school. That school is known as the Murtaza High School. It's a little difficult to pronounce, but there I completed high school. But one thing which I am very, very proud, the opportunity during my education, that when I was in 8th standard, then I opted to do intermediate or 12th grade in Hindi, that is Hindi Bhushan. And luckily I missed by few points first division, and I'm surprised, but I got that Hindi degree in Hindi, which is equal to a intermediate standard. And after that, I continued in the next school, which I did intermediate. After that, the situation came to me what to do next. Whether I go into medical, whether I go engineering, where do I go? What do I do? So luckily, I was guided for engineering. So I went to give the entrance examination. So there is always entrance examination at my time in India for any professional qualification. Luckily, I got admitted in Roorkee, which is nowadays IIT, equal to IIT in India. And I did education there 2 years, completed overseer diploma. And from there, I was not satisfied with that status of my life, of that education. I wanted to achieve lot more. So I gave the examination in another university, which is Aligarh Muslim University, and I was selected for BSce, Bachelor of Science in Engineering. And from there, my career started. And within
BSc means Bachelor of Sciences in Civil Engineering?
Bachelor of Science in Engineering.
In Engineering, BSc.
Yes.
Okay.
Because a lot of persons, they call it BE, Bachelor of Engineering.
Yeah.
But at Aligarh University, they had a little different title, Bachelor of Science in Engineering.
Okay.
And I got my career developed over there. I got my professionalism developed right over there, because after first year, they made me class monitor. And the reason I am mentioning this thing, class monitor, because I have to build up my career, my focus, my orientation, my leadership, my education standard. So monitor is a very, very responsible job. That's infusing the discipline in the class. So I have to be disciplined myself first. And then they make me the monitor to teach the students to go other places, other institutions, other projects, and to get much more wide knowledge what basically civil structural engineering is. So that was a great honor for me. I did it, I was successful. And then the third year, the same thing. And when I got education over there, and then I was automatically recruited by UP Irrigation Board. So then somehow I joined them, and I did practice. And one of the biggest practices that time, diversion of a river from one side to another side, which was a very, very tough cycle, because you cannot put up a dam on the river, otherwise the water will spread all around and cause lots of damages. But we find out a unique solution to do that, and that was done very quickly. And the department had honored me by transferring me to one of the concrete dam on one of the biggest reservoir in Asia,
Which is?
Rehend Dam.
Okay.
They have 2-mile long cable bay to transfer the concrete. At that time, it was a cubic yard.
Yes.
Now it is a cubic meter. But so the buckets were 8 cubic yards, and they were going to about 2,000 foot, and that was a very tough job. So I was supposed to be field supervisor in engineering areas, like to take the look on the quality of the concrete. And then one of the things was how much is the slump, how much are the aggregate, how to pour it, where to pour it, and how to vibrate it so that it could encompass reinforcement and be within shores or shoring.
This was done in the same period of the Bhakranangal Dam?
Yes,
Here.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
That was 1959 of my. See, I started engineering 55, and 3 years. Generally, this time it became 4 years, but I have the advantage of 2 years of diploma.
Okay.
So 5 years, and then I started working over there, and then I was there up to 1961
In India.
in India at the same site, Bhakra, the Rihan Dam site.
You were married at that time, or?
I was married in 1960.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And a girl from same UP?
same UP.
Okay.
And the biggest thing is that I somehow got recognized. So first of all, Aligarh is not of that, like over here, you can see the difference between Harvard and Purdue where I graduated. Immediately person will say Harvard is better or MIT is better. But the similar, in my case, there was a lot of person from Roorkee doing job there. So Roorkee was supposed to be one of the best engineering school in India at my time. But somehow I was invited to Central Design Directorate in Lucknow, which is the irrigation department headquarters. And I was surprised that, look here, how come they invited me there? So after a couple of departments, they transferred me to one of the most important job which UP irrigation was having. They are putting a mini bund on a Yamuna river, so that was known as the Yamuna River Hydroelectric Project.
Okay.
So one of the biggest job is to design control room so that the water could go out and then you could be controlling the production of energy.
Was Dr. Kalerao the minister for
Yes,
Central
sir.
Water and Power Commission
Yes,
at
sir.
that time?
Yes, sir.
PWD.
He was a very, very great.
He was an authority on some
Yes,
of the
yes, he was
engineering.
authority, yeah.
Thing. So the having you got married, and what is her name, by the way?
My wife's name is Vijaya Gupta. V-I-J-A.
After marriage is Gupta, Vijay Gupta.
Yeah.
What
No,
was
no.
she be?
She was Gupta before.
Even the okay.
The reason it's a strange, in India the last name is based on the community.
Yes, right.
So it's a, Gupta is a sub-community in India of whatever
Is
you call.
it the Khatri community or why?
No, it's a Baniya community.
Baniya community. Okay. And they are not mostly in business.
Yeah.
But
Mostly
you are a deviant. You are the only one.
Yeah. So after designing that, then I got more confident of me, because you need confidence. You have a successful design, you need confidence. So I started in writing, technical writing. So during 1964, I published 3 technical papers. One is a design of multi-story building. At that time, there was no computer. I didn't have any computer knowledge. So all this was Hardy Cross method type design. It was a 6-story building. We designed successfully. And that was the control room again on the Yamuna hydroelectric power station. And then from there, I somehow decided to enhance my education from bachelor's degree to a master's degree.
Okay.
So first over there, Imperial College of Science and Technology in Britain, in London, was supposed to be #1 choice, the top school. Somehow I don't know that. I just don't know. I got inclined to America. I just got inclined. Perhaps behind that there was something that, oh, someday I will start an industry in India, because that lacked the industry and lacked the employment situation. So with 2 reasons, and somehow there was luckily in Lucknow, the state capital, there was USIS, United States Information System.
Services. Yeah.
Services, yes sir.
Yeah.
So I started visiting there
Yes.
to find out how many universities are and which university I should go. So the lady, she was a very, very great woman, American, real American, I mean to say. And so she helped me a lot. First of all, we were thinking about Harvard or MIT. I couldn't go there because the fee was so high that I really didn't have the means and resources to comply with that. And then luckily I was guided towards Carnegie Institute of Technology, Pittsburgh. So somehow I managed the plane fee, 1 year's fee as required by American visa. And also, surprisingly, I managed to leave funds for my family to be there and in my absence, be comfortable. So the very first day, which is a strange day in my life, I came to America, New York, and that was the record snow. And my overcoat, which by the way I borrowed from my friend
Okay. Yes.
to save expenses, and it was not very sufficient, but
Many people did in those days. Many people did in those days.
Yeah.
Borrowed the suitcases, borrowed the
Yeah, exactly.
outer jacket, everything.
So I was supposed to go to Pittsburgh. The plane became late, and our plane became late, so I missed the communication. I supposed to reach Pittsburgh 7 p.m., but reached there 9 p.m. But the bus driver, which was taking me to the downtown, he was a great guy. I would say this is the biggest impression of America to me, and I never ever forget. He said, "From where you are?" I said, "India." "Where are you going?" I said, "That Carnegie Institute of Technology." So he said, "That's close, all close." But somehow, by his own initiative, he changed the route. After everyone was gone, I was the only one left in the bus. So he put me in the door or in front of a hostel. So, and somehow he find out there is another Indian in that hostel. So he accommodated with him for the night, which is a very, very great experience from my side. So next day morning, I went to the school, meet the principal. So principal said out of 155 applicants, I was the only one which was selected for graduate studies. So I said, I am honored. Then I started looking at the syllabus. So most of the syllabus was space oriented. Like NASA, and I didn't have any background in that, and I was very nervous that if I don't do my master's, it's a doom day for me, and I have to do my master's within 1 year. So their fee was very high. Their fee was $950 per semester, but he assured me a summer job. So he said, you don't have to worry about finances. That's another great thing of America, which I admire. So I looked the syllabus. As he called the whole staff meeting with me. So everyone could ask me the question, and I could ask the question to them. Ultimately, I decided it's a little tough subject for me to initiate, and I don't want to take a risk of losing the master's degree. So he said, what do you want? I said, I want to go to a school which has a similar education as I'm trained in. He immediately made few calls, and he selected Purdue University. Purdue University is a land-grant university. It's about 100 years old at that time, and they were conventional universities, civil structure, bridges, roads, buildings, and I was very familiar with that. But the visa condition was that I cannot change the university.
Oh, really?
So he immediately called Dean Krishna, and he got him at his home. And Dean Krishna said, don't worry, I will take care of all. You just send him.
What is the dean's name?
Dean Krishna. I know by Dean Krishna, Tichner.
I see.
He was a great guy. So next, I took the bus that was about 4 or 5 p.m. by the time I was free. So whole night I was in the bus. It's about 800, 900 miles or something. Reached Purdue University in the morning, 5 a.m. And then I just washed myself and went to Dean Tichner's office 8 o'clock. He just put his own hand on my shoulder and took me to the principal's office of College of Engineering and Technology, Civil Engineering. And so I talked to the principal. So principal just directly state out, nothing, no paperwork, nothing. He said, okay, how many courses you like to take for your start of master's degree first semester? I said 5, because I calculated by that time 5 plus 5, or 5 plus 6, 11, or summer 2, something like that, so that I can complete my master's within 1 year.
How many credits were required?
33.
33. That was normal.
Yeah, at that time, yeah. So he talked to me quite a while, about 15 minutes or half an hour, to deviate me myself to come back to 4, because in his experience 4 courses are better for a newcomer, because a newcomer has to face lots of other.
You would adjust to the system.
Exactly.
Yes.
But ultimately he agreed, okay, take it. And I did that. And luckily, exceptionally lucky, I got 3 straight A's in very first semester, because he refused to give me any scholarship in the first semester. And as soon as I got that thing, so then they gave me international scholarship, because there were 1,200 international students. So having a 3 straight A's, 1 B and 1 C. So that was, and having written 3 technical papers year before. So they said that you are qualified enough to get the scholarship. That changed my complete career, my worry, everything. That was the biggest time in my life. In next summer semester, I got 2 straight A's again. So I don't know how come they decided to make me graduate instructor after. So the scholarship was $250 a month. Graduate instructor was $480 a month. So that was sky high for me. So I completed first year. After completing first year, I paid for all the loan which I had to take in to come to university. And then there was still a problem with me in my thinking, whether I should stay Purdue for PhD or just start doing the job. But I became greedy. So I bought a car, I paid our loan, and I got a job offer. The job offer was excellent job offer. I got about $9,000 a month at that time, because that time normal salary was $6,000 to $7,000 for
Correct.
qualified engineer.
This was in the year
1965.
Okay.
No, 1966.
Okay.
Because I graduated in 66,
Okay.
because I deviated from PhD to that. And then my career boomeranged. So I called my family and I left again America 1970, because I found a project which I wanted to establish in India, and you may not believe it. It was to manufacturing slide rules.
Is that right?
In India, nobody was doing that.
I know they were imported from Germany and England in those days. Yes.
And all these, there was a injection molding machine.
Yeah.
I got it designed over here.
What
I got the design engraving machine, so by which you can put hot stamping machine, you can put engraved slide rule, everything which I did it over here. And it cost me $25,000, which I earned during that period, 1965 to 1970, which was a difficult, but I did earn.
Yeah.
And I developed the project, went to India back again, but somehow couldn't survive.
That is the usual story. People go there and then finally come back.
Yeah.
You know.
So I passed there 4 years,
Yes.
and then I wanted to come back to America.
So let me ask you, at that juncture, that is where you started life in America.
Yes.
And then never looked back,
Yes.
I guess. Although you had all the intentions of going back and doing something for the country.
Yeah.
Now, over here in America, did you ever face any discrimination
No.
or hardships?
No.
And how many Indian students were there at that time when you joined?
In
Carnegie?
Pittsburgh, I didn't see any.
Not there.
There were, but in engineering
In
itself.
engineering.
There was a Sardarji's hostel, which I stayed there, but he was not in engineering at that time. I don't know what discipline he was. But I just had probably a few minutes talk to him in the night, then I slept. In the morning, I got out. And
So you went to India to establish the industry,
Yeah.
or you did?
Yeah, I did.
And then after that, what made you
Come back.
give up that project?
Give up that.
What are the real problems at that time?
There is a couple of real problems. It will take a couple of minutes. First of all, I could not get an injection molding machine to fit those molds which I got made over here,
Oh,
because that needs some modifications. Nobody was ready, and that particular type of injection molding machine was not available in New Delhi or Delhi,
I see.
because that was very important, because there was a important component, and that was the plastic, type of plastic. That plastic was, which I selected, was ABS. ABS plastic is that when it comes from the mold, it doesn't buckle.
Mhm.
It remains stable shape, and then you can make a groove into it. So few of those, but I started a second project immediately. That was a computer logic teaching aid. Because at that time when I was at Purdue, there was a Digital Equipment Corporation.
Oh,
Digital Equipment Corporation is from Boston. They started developing computers, because that time the computers were the tube, vacuum tube, that type of
thyristor types. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. Thermoionic valves.
yes.
Yeah.
And that was a very complicated, because
Yeah.
like in Purdue University, whole room was full of computers.
I see.
So they developed a computer logic teaching aid first, and that was not big computer logic. There was 16K only, but it could multiply, it
Yes.
could divide, it could add, and it would count. So a lot of facilities. It could give the signals, plus minus. So I started manufacturing them, and I started manufacturing analog computer with the quarter square multiplier, because there was an analog computer. Bharat Electronics used to do that, the biggest company in India.
Yes.
But they did not have a quarter square multiplier embedded into it. Somehow, I don't know. But we did that. Experimental computer, analog computer. But somehow, this is a sad story. I had an accident. I fell down, or whatever happened. And then I lost all my memory, and you can see all my
Some
damages
marks,
over
yeah.
here.
Mhm.
And so I was in the hospital, and somehow my partner took out all those plant equipment machines, somehow. And in India, it's not worth to go to the legal.
Yeah.
So I went to American Embassy for visa to America. And they said no, because I stayed there 4 years, and it was not a real cause for them when I'm doing industry. In other words, I have to do industry, or I have to be in America.
Oh.
So they didn't. So I got a job offer greatly in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. That is how you accepted that,
I accepted
and then from there here.
Yes.
Is that okay? Very good. So tell me some experience in Nigeria.
Nigeria was also another great country for me,
Mhm.
because 1974, General Gowon was the head of the state. They called head of the state.
Gowon took over after Abdul. What is that? Marshal, who was the
Yeah, yeah.
dictator?
But I don't
Abu
remember
Bakr Tafawa Balewa.
Yeah,
After that,
exactly.
Gowon took over.
You have a great knowledge. You have a
Yeah.
great intelligence.
Because I was in England at that time,
Oh, I see.
when that coup took place and all that.
I see, I
was
see.
following that.
So somehow Birla got me the job. Birla held me.
Okay.
But somehow, well, due to certain reasons, I choose to move back to Lagos in Nigeria, from Port Harcourt to Lagos. And in Lagos, I became a chief engineer of a large project. It is African village of culture for masses. And that was about $1 billion project at that time. $1 million means it has a highway, it has a building, it has a stadium, it has a college, it has a hospital, everything was there. So that when the real performance starts, the persons have a place to stay, place to go, place for sports and other things. And there I met General Gupta,
Oh,
which you will see in a photograph.
I think you showed the photo. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So I was 6 years over there, and I was very decently paid over there, and I did a lot of work over there. But by that time, somehow I happened to have one guy who was from America, my friend, and we just went to bars and other places like that and have a chit chat. So I told him my story. He said, "You need visa to America?" I said, "Yes." He said he took me to the embassy itself.
Directly, yes.
Directly.
Oh.
He said, "Take the forms here, fill it," and then he find out under the condition that my visa was rejected in India, would I get it from here? They said yes. Because they are different countries, different rules, different regulation. So over there, I filled up the form, went there, and this is a strange thing. There was a lady consul. He was a full consul. And there is a lot of crowd over there. But somehow she especially paid attention to me because she noted that I am Purdue University assistant professor, Purdue University graduate, and I am a licensed professional engineer, state of Indiana. So she thought that I don't need a public assistance in America. I have everything. I can immediately go and get a job. So she took about 2 hours, and surprisingly all the persons are waiting, but still she gave me permission to come to America. Only one thing she left me, that I have to take state permission. In other words, I have to apply a certain state and take the permission of the state. So I applied state of Indiana, Purdue University,
So,
and then I was doing a job, Indiana State Commission. So I had all the background of Indiana, and Indiana accepted me. So within it takes 2 years, I don't know why. Within 2 years, I get the permission to come to America. And so
as an immigrant.
as an immigrant. So, but when I was not having any problem in immigration quickly let me come in, and then after 2 months I got my green card. But then I decided to apply for citizenship. And I really don't exactly remember the year of that, but that was about 4 or 5 years, 5 years later, because I have to be still 5. It was 1984. Oh, I remember now. It was 1984. And
You were
when
in
I
Houston, right, at that
Yeah.
time? Houston, Texas. And you were one of the select few recommended by the governor and
Mark
senator,
White,
right?
yes, sir, yeah. This is again the background I will give you, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
So when I applied for citizenship in 84, so I went to the immigration office and they interviewed me, and they say you qualify, but you have one lacuna in that. Because in 72 they stopped coming you without a blood
Testing.
Not blood testing, blood relation over here.
Oh, that was a requirement at that time?
That was the requirement. You must have a blood
Which
relation.
was 81?
82,
82?
no, it was 84.
84.
82, I think they changed in 72.
Uh-huh.
I came in 74.
I see.
So that was the 2 years difference.
So you must have a blood relation
Yeah.
in America.
No, sorry, I'm missing the date. It was 74 and I came in 1980.
Okay.
So that was a 6 year after that.
Uh-huh.
So, and this was in 1984, which I applied. 1979, very close to 5 years, because few months can go by, they allow, and
Sure.
5 years, few months, because by the time you really become a citizen, it will be 5 years you will complete. So, I didn't get.
Oh.
And then somehow I'm trying to remember what happened. I got in contact with Senator Lloyd Benson. You saw his
Texas senator.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was vice president at that time, something like that. I told his secretary the whole story. She said, okay. She talked to Senator Lloyd Benson. He wrote me a special letter. And then he said, okay, go for interview. So in 1985, I went for interview and I passed the interview quickly. No hassle, no headache, nothing. And I have to compliment Senator Lloyd Benson for writing me a letter and helping me quickly and to take out all the bureaucracy.
There was no written test at that time?
No.
Oh, really? Oh.
Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just he talked a couple of things because the Senator Lloyd Benson was such a supreme authority.
Sure.
You know, except leaving apart president or everyone used to respect him, and he's Texan.
Sure.
So, and I was shocked. And that is one of the reasons that President Reagan sent me the deepest personal regards.
Yes.
And that is one of the reasons that I got a special status for citizenship.
And you represented 50 people, 50 immigrants in Ellis Island.
I was one of them.
One of them, but only 2 were selected out of the pool of 50 to go to Ellis Island.
Sir. Sorry, let me modify that. Actually, the 51 came when each state has to select 2 representatives.
Okay. Oh, out of 50 states. Okay.
50 states. But some couldn't select any. Some selected only one.
So you were the one selected by the governor?
Governor of Texas.
Of Texas.
Because I was Texas resident, so in Texas they selected 2. I was one of them.
Good for you. And then the name and fame followed.
Yes.
Is that right?
To have a name in Ellis Island directly on a statue, that is exceptional. I really don't think any other Indian has that name over there.
Inscribed
I just start complimenting.
Yeah.
You know, because I got so much, so I have to express my happiness.
It's an honor which your progeny can be proud of. You know.
So I'm 2 things very much proud in America: getting my name on a statue in Liberty Centennial,
yes,
and number 2, becoming citizen in Ellis Island after 1935, first time ever in the history of America. Only few person was citizen. No one else has become citizen in Ellis Island after 1935. That's the only one exception where 51 became American citizen in Ellis Island, and the citizenship was given by the Supreme Court Justice Warren Burger.
Yeah.
And that is 3rd exception. So, you know, 3rd exception together is a miracle.
You made it, yeah.
I don't think anyone ever will have that miracle.
Sure.
So, it's the biggest miracle in my life history.
So, what was the longest period you worked for any company in America?
Not very much. But before this, I will go on one thing more.
Sure.
When I was admitted at Purdue, first semester I got after first semester I got scholarship. After 2nd semester I got graduate instructorship and assistant professorship, which is also unusual. So that is what Purdue University is. And then I come to New York, where I got the citizenship and honor, and then comes Texas. Okay. Texas also I got a lot of honor, and then came American Society of Indian Engineers.
And you became the president.
I became the president, which is a remarkable thing.
Sure. And they honored you in their 25th anniversary also. So you have quite a few accomplishments for in America. As an immigrant, making a life here.
And I came on zero ship, and I become hero ship. Hero ship means financially.
Sure.
So
you have no regrets for coming to America, right? You are one of the few successful people,
Thank you, sir.
immigrants who made it big.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, one thing which I'm still thinking at my personal life, before I did my high school or before I did inter or before I got admitted, I had almost nothing. That's what I will call zero to hero. When I'm a millionaire, so naturally,
Sure.
it's a great heroship.
Of course. And about your family, how many children you got?
I have 2 children, one son and one daughter.
What are their names?
My daughter name is Juhi, Juhi. My son name, first name, Parag. P for Paul, A for Alpha, R for Robert, A for Alpha, G for George.
Okay.
My daughter is also inventive. And you may not believe, she has invented nothing but a lunch box.
Mhm.
You see, why lunch box? The reason is, if you have a lunch in a plastic box and put it in the microwave, that's a very dangerous situation, contagious. So she developed a glass container. Now glass container, if it falls down, it will break, scatter. It is dangerous for everyone. And so she developed a special glass container so that even if the whole thing drops, nothing happens. So you can surely take the glass container out of the plastic box, and the lunch and glass container you can put in the microwave, and the microwave doesn't impact the food quality, and it does not create any problem for the glass container, and you are not afraid of it falling down or cracking. So it is, now she is selling almost all over the world.
Wonderful. She's an entrepreneur, inventor and entrepreneur.
Because in our family, I have not seen anyone inventing anything.
And where does she live? In
She lives in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. And she's married?
And her husband is also an attorney.
Okay.
He is a staff attorney with General Mills.
I see.
So he is at that time looking their overseas division, because General Mills have a lot of overseas.
Sure, several branches. Yeah.
So he is in a almost top in a director position. He may become vice president in a couple of years. And he is a young person.
Sure. Well, what about your son? Where
My
is he?
son did his master's. See, my daughter did his MBA
Okay.
in New York, Pace University. My son did his master's in this Hilton School of Hotel Manager, Houston University. Houston University is known to have one of the best school in hotel management.
Yes.
So my son did masters over there, bachelor's and master both in Houston University. Went to New York. He just want to live in New York, nowhere else.
That is true.
Oh,
so he married, he is now
no, he
settled?
doesn't want to marry.
Oh, he doesn't want to, I see. Okay, so...
And so he is doing now export-import business.
Business.
Yes.
And tell me something about your involvement with NASA.
This is a very, very interesting that I had a job with Walter Primore over here, and I was 75 at that time. So somehow I quit or got laid off or whatever it is. You know, I was separated from Walter Primore. Walter Primore is #1 structural engineering consulting company.
Good company, yeah.
So somehow immediately, about in couple of months, I got offer from NASA. So I worked for NASA about a year, then they offered me head of the department position, which I declined. Because I was 75, I said let others come up.
Sure.
So I worked in NASA 6 years. And important projects are I would say that mostly I worked in their building management, like a main building. and there is a one conference room. You have to redo it for conferences, seminars, meetings, and things like that. And then there is all over in NASA. You start building the new building. You are putting new chiller units, or you start putting the new roads, miles of roads, and then parking garages, and then concrete structures, new concrete structure. So whole thing, I was 6 years, that's what I was trying to do. And like say, specifically, an interesting example. They have like their mechanical unit, which has a boiler room, you may call it. All the walls are vertical walls, about 60 or 70 feet high, 6-inch thick, and supported at the ground level on the strip foundation, and on the second floor level by the steel beam, and third floor level by the beam supporting the trusses, and then projecting further. Somehow, 2 of their boiler became bad, incapacitated. So they have to remove it, and there is just no way you could not remove it without breaking the wall. Because even if you disengage the wall from the steel beams, there will be damage done, and they are only 6 inches, so they can collapse by themselves. How to put the support, how to take out, so there I come in the picture. So we find a substitute for those walls. After finding the substitute, then we actually demolished the existing 2 walls completely out. And then new wall, which is a symmetrical or similar to existing wall, we supported it. So all these techniques, like how to lift it, how to design it from the buckling and from cracking. So this is what the engineering was involving. So that is what I did. It's one of the facts. So this is the type of the job in a lot of buildings. You have projected out, and then you are putting the air conditioning units on the projections. It could collapse. So you have to provide a support. So this is the type of the work I was doing for NASA. So it was a small group of 6 persons. So, but there is a lot of roofing, like a lot of times the roofing leaks.
Yeah.
So it's a small repair, renewal.
Upgrades and all.
Yeah. So
Tell me something about you are an author. You wrote a book. Tell me something about that.
Yeah,
book.
you see what happened that when I became a assistant professor at Purdue, so to support myself in that career for future, I thought unless until I do some research and write something, there is no place in teaching in America. This is a barren fact.
Sure.
If you can't write, you can't survive. So I started doing. So first of all, I amalgamated engineering and education together.
Okay.
So there was no guide in America at that time on the fire safety issues, because very few persons encase the steel columns. But if they encase, what size? What size of fireproofing material? So I did little research on that. So that is the reason luckily I happened to join a group of persons who wanted to write the book. And Council of American Structural Engineers wanted to publish it. And this is the main body of structural engineers. So I got double honor that, look here, they are getting me involved in this project. So that's the reason I started writing. Then I wrote other books which happened by job experiences, like I was a director of health safety management in New York on a hospital, large hospital, which was being built. So I was supervising it.
Tell me something about hospitals, fires, sometimes the hospitals catch fire.
Yeah.
What is the maximum fire rating they design for?
2 hours.
Not 3 hours?
3 hours, some of the rooms, but general building structure is mostly 2 hours.
Steel, what is the fire rating of a steel structure?
Yeah.
Generally I thought it is at
particularly
least
with the gases, gas unit or liquid liquid oxygen, they are stored. All those are also where you are doing the operations and surgery.
okay.
So some of those areas are 3 hours.
Okay. Now I want to shift gears to general topic. You know, Indian children, they are doing great.
Yeah.
And what do you
No
think?
doubt about
What
it.
is the secret of that? Tell me.
Secret is whenever they like to come to America, first thing they like to know that they have to work per discipline. They have to know most of the things, and they have to they have to work a lot.
Yeah.
Simply because they are not prepared for the structure of here, management of this place, and content of what they are going to do. So quite a lot of things they are just not aware. So
Okay.
they have to understand that. They have to understand the basic work. So then it is very hard on them. About say 90% or 80% are successful. 10% sometimes are not that.
Yes. And if there is one message you want to give to the future Indian children, what would it be?
Just select your discipline and dedicate your life to it. Just dedicate it completely to it. And after that, you can go into other projects, other things. But in the first 5 to 10 years, you select just one discipline, dedicate your life to it so that you have all the knowledge about that discipline. And then you can grow and diversify.
Okay. Ram Gupta ji, this is
I'm
a pleasure.
honored, sir.
It's a
Great honor.
pleasure, and
Thank
it is our honor to have you for the project.